Good morning. My name is Annie, and today my partner Lena and I will be explaining the significance of the Columbian Exchange. First off, we have the Native Americans, who were the inhabitants of the New World prior to the Europeans. How did they get here, though? Let's find out. As the sea levels lowered, a land bridge formed between Eurasia and North America, and the migrant hunters followed the animals into the new land. Over time, the people began to split into smaller groups and develop their own cultures and lifestyles. Their life revolved around agriculture, so while the women farmed corn and squash, the men hunted and gathered fuel.
Next, we'll talk about the travels made by the Europeans.
After Marco Polo came back from Asia in 1295, he wooed the Europeans with tales about his travels and adventures in his book. This made the Europeans race to find new trading partners. Portugal began to prosper due to their ability to develop the caravel in 1450 and sail against the wind. Therefore, Spain grew jealous and sought to beat their neighbors. Spain sent Columbus out, expecting him to reach India. On October 12, 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue. He landed in the Caribbean instead of going to India and giving the natives there Indian. His blunder, however, started a chain reaction that opened the opportunities for both the Old and New World.
The New World gave many gifts to the Old World. The New World had amazed the European settlers with their crops and culture. Their land also offered new riches of gold and silver. However, despite all the goods that the Indians offered to the Europeans, they also carried the disease syphilis. Since the New World provided to the Old, it's only fair that the Old World gave to the New. The Europeans also brought over some of their crops, animals, and culture to introduce the New World to. They also brought slave labor to work in the cornfields. However, like the Indians, they also brought over their diseases. This is a diagram that displays the different exchanges that were contributed by both of the worlds. For example, the New World introduced beans and potatoes, while the Old World introduced cattle and horses. Now, we'll talk about the impact of the Columbian Exchange. Some of the impacts that the Europeans had upon the Indians were the introduction to the horses, which caused the Indians' way of transportation and hunting to become more developed and allowed them to travel farther, along with the disease that the Europeans brought, which led to the death of many Indians. The Columbian Exchange resulted in a massive interdependent economic system between Europe, Africa, and the two Americas.
So, as you can see here, there were approximately 54 million natives before the Europeans landed. After the disease had spread and infected the natives, their population had dropped to about less than 6 million. This means that about 90% of the population was killed off by disease.
There were also wealth gains in the European countries due to the weather and agriculture in the New World, along with the gold and silver offered and trading furs. There were also many integrations between both worlds, like the marriage of the natives and Spanish. With the ease of the agriculture and transportation, it reduced famine, which caused the population to dramatically increase.
Thank you for listening to our presentation on the Columbian Exchange, and I hope you were able to become more informed about this historical event.